What's up, everybody? Robin E here checking in. Back on another episode of PillowTalk Podcast. And today, I am in Racine with it. I have a very special edition of Pillow Talk, and I'm super duper excited to be here with some of the cast of the amazing play Pipeline. What's up, y'all? Y'all can't hear the applause, but it's applause going on right now. You can't hear it, but it's a lot of clapping going on. So thank you guys for having me here. I'm super excited to get to know you, get to talk about the play, and, just get your perspective on everything involved with the play. So first off, I gotta, know who you are, and I would love to know the characters that each of you play.
I'm Isaiah Lambert. I play Omari, this high school student going through a couple obstacles in school, but I think he's got a good support team with mom and dad.
Okay, that's mom and dad right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Mom.
I'm Kelsey Harris, and I play Naya. Naya is a high school teacher at a public high school, and she's struggling with raising her son. Her son's getting in some trouble at school, and so she's kind of in conflict with her ex-husband about what to do about that. And so she kind of feels like he's slipping out of her hands, and she doesn't really know how to handle that.
That's intense. Intense.
So I'm Corey Prince, play Xavier, who is the father to Omari and the ex-husband of Naya.
Ram. So you weren't causing all the problems?
No, that's all good. I think
Actually, the gag is they're not together because of Naya.
Oh.
don't spoil it.
Oh. We like spoilers though a little bit. And we like spoilers a little bit. Wow. Okay.
Teaser. Not a spoiler. That was a teaser. But yeah, my character is an executive professional who has split from his half ghetto ex-wife, who, they have some differences of how to raise their son. He wants to be a little bit more firm. She wants to allow him to be ghetto as well. And it shows.
First of all,
He also, excuse me,
Okay.
I didn't interrupt her.
Okay. y'all bickering for real. I like
That's why
this.
they divorced.
I can't wait to see this interaction.
This is why they divorced.
I don't know if we could sit them next week.
Oh Lord.
I tried to, but
Try to break it up.
You know you're supposed to be in the middle, son.
it's okay, son. It's not your fault.
And you got the dad voice too. You got that stern little, the way you just said son right there. The way you said son. But no, that's interesting. Y'all have some very in-depth characters. I like how you kind of went into some of the things they're dealing with too. Not just, oh, I'm mom, I'm dad, I'm the son. These are the things I'm dealing with. So how did you guys get involved with the project?
Let me go first.
Ooh, okay.
Since you just said I have the dad voice, I
Definitely.
actually got involved because of my son. Well, first let me say I got involved because of April. So April, I think you texted me, right? She texted me, and I was driving, and so I had talk to text on, and so it's coming through the speaker, and she's like, "Yeah, I think I got this part for you in this play, whatever." And so my son is in the car, and I made him come out. He's real shy. Well, he was real shy. He's doing a lot better, and I challenged him to do a play, the school play last year, third grade, and he did it. And so when he heard this, he was like, "You got to audition, Dad." And so I came to audition, and I was honestly like, didn't want to do it. I was trying to leave. I was like, I gotta go. But my son, he wouldn't let me leave in April either. So here I am, and I'm glad that I'm here. So.
Absolutely. Shout out to the sons. Shout out to the kids. Making parents do things they don't want to do. That's what kids do. What about you?
So I think the name of the play really pulled me in. The school to prison pipeline was always something that was important to me. Something that I always try to advocate for, the issues that go on with that. So that, first of all, I was intrigued by that. And then when I just learned a little bit more about the play, I was just like, you know what, I wanna give it a shot. And I think it's something so important for the community. And going into it, for me, it wasn't even really about getting a part. I was like, I'll make sets, I'll do anything you need me to. I just wanted to be involved in it somehow, in some way. So I'm really glad that I get to do this.
That's dope. That's dope.
For me, what, the coffee?
Oh yeah, I heard the coffee back there.
But talking about people inspiring people to do stuff. My mom, she was in the previous play that they, or what was it called? Y'all did?
The Glorious World of Crowns, Kinks, and Curls.
Yeah, my mom, Yolanda George. Shout out my mom.
Okay, shout out to mom.
Shout out to Yolanda.
Shout out to the moms.
She sent me the little pre-script or whatever for the Amari part, and just said that they were looking for somebody young. So I gave it a shot. I'm a musician, so I love to maybe say I let her be on stage, let her be in theater. So it was definitely something that I was proud to do myself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, you a starer, basically. You a starer. You do it all.
Yeah.
You do it all. Okay.
I'm learning.
You learning?
Got a good director and good family around, so it's learning every day, getting better. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, we love it. I love how everybody has their own connection to how they got involved. I think that's super dope. Pipeline, directed by Adrianna Jones and written by Dominique. I'm sorry, is it Morisseau? Morisseau. Oh, Morisseau. I'm sorry. So I love that this is a play that really dives into like racial, differences. It has a lot of just themes that are in it, and it's another depiction of, I think, Black culture, which is something that we kind of need to see right now in different variations. So with y'all, being a part of this play and knowing the story, how do you feel like this compares to other Black depictions that you see out today?
In school, I was gonna get conspiracy but I ain't doing that. But just with school, I feel like what's being taught, definitely, I feel like it just could be more outlets and more areas of improvement in the schools that could set the youth up, could set generations even back. Could have been better. And especially with my see, I'm saying I get deep with it because this is
You like deep? That's okay.
Because I love the topic, and I just want to say only like 50 years ago my grandma was in school and she was talking about how she had the bad textbooks and stuff. So it's like it's something it's gradually improving schools and stuff. But I feel like this is something that just bring that awareness of. That's where life starts, is the kids and the youth, and making sure that they have the best opportunities to become who they need to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Just go.
Yeah, I want to hear, what everybody has to say
She's
first.
usually not silent, so
Yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah.
The question was, how does this play relate to other films in Black culture? For me, I can be honest. So I work in the high schools, and I work with Black students particularly. And it's difficult for me because there is a culture that says that children don't have to understand places, spaces, or faces, and they can talk any way in front of anybody in any place, and they're coddled to think that it's okay. And so when you ask me how does this play relate to others in the past, I would say it rings true to the day and age that we're in. So if you want to compare it to like another school age film like a Lean on Me, right? In Lean on Me days, there was no cursing in front of adults. Right. Mr. Joe Clark would have went upside your head with that bat, and your mama and daddy too, and he meant it. Now the whole family come jump Mr. Clark. See what I'm saying? And then the administration tells the student, "Oh, you can still come on back to school. It's okay, but we're going to write it down and we're going to file it away to put you in that pipeline. Ooh. What you saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've also worked in schools for quite a few years, and I've worked in all grade levels from 4K all the way to high school. And I've seen it at all levels, and I've seen kids, particularly black boys, being written off very early. I've seen it when they're in 4K and they're doing all the assessments and trying to test them to see if they could put them in special education. I've heard teachers look at 4-year-olds and say, oh, you're going to be terrible in middle school. And kids know. They can sense who believes in them and who doesn't. And there's too many people, unfortunately, who don't believe in them. And the problem is when you're called something for long enough, eventually you start to believe it. And so, like I said, I worked in all grade levels. So I see when it starts at kindergarten, and then I see it in high school when they're in 9th grade and they're in special education and they're doing coloring pages and not getting an adequate education. They don't care anymore. It becomes a behavior thing because a lot of the things they're put in special education for are soft disabilities. So things that are very subjective. So all it really takes is one teacher's opinion or one counselor's opinion, one doctor's opinion, and they're pushed right along the pipeline. And it's unfortunate. And it affects them in so many ways. It affects their self-esteem. Like I said, it affects their education because they're being put in classrooms with students who have actual disabilities. And they're being kept from the education that they deserve. And like I said, they're being written off and they're being treated a certain way. And it's not fair, you know? And like I said, we see all these behavior problems come out once they get to high school in these higher grades because they've been treated like this up until this point. They've been treated like they're animals, like they talk about in the play. So eventually you start to act like the animal. You're like, okay, this is what you expect from me. This is what I'm gonna give you because there's not enough advocates a lot of times. And a lot of people, unfortunately, don't even know what the school-to-prison pipeline is.
Right.
They've never even heard of the term. So that's why I think this play is important because it's bringing that to light so more people will know.
Yes. Okay, because what? We got prophets. We got the steppers that's talking right now. But no, I love that. I mean, all of y'all touched on some very important tips. And I mean, me being a black woman as well, I'm very aware of just the disconnect of language, treatment, everything. I love that there's a generational connection that's here too, because obviously you're younger and you're aware of it too. So, I mean, you being younger, how do you feel? Like, do you think other peers are aware of that as well, or is everybody kind of just going through the pipeline?
Ooh, you know, that's tough because you don't know with maybe like ignorance and stuff like that, being naive and stuff. I feel like it's definitely out there in everybody's face that it's you know, a pipeline, but you know, it's just about like me. I was when she was talking about all of that, I was thinking of this time my freshman year in high school. I'm cool with everybody, so it was, you know, Mexican versus black. They all fought in the lunchroom, and they all got expelled, you know. And I'm just saying, like, you know, fast forward, all of us graduated. Those guys didn't graduate. They, you know, one of them in jail now, you know. So who knows if they would have got maybe a better chance besides that quick expulsion for that, you know, that fight or whatever. Yeah. Freshman year, you know. So, far as people noticing though, I don't know. You know, that's why this play is something that's huge to bring that awareness, and then also God first. You know, it got a lot of God in it too. So, you know, hopefully it bring God into a lot of people as well.
Thanks. Absolutely, absolutely. And then for both of you, I mean, y'all speak a lot about seeing it, witnessing it in the school system and understanding it as well. So do you feel like more people are aware? Do you feel like the younger people do know that they are good in this pipeline? Or do you feel like, yeah, they're just falling in line?
Unfortunately, I think a lot of them don't know because I think there's a lot of people who, kids people don't give kids enough credit. I feel like they're more capable of understanding things than we give them credit for. And if we would just explain to them and sit down and talk to them about what's happening around them, what they're gonna be faced with, what to expect, and I feel like we give them the tools as to what to do about that, how to change the circumstances, how to do things differently. I mean, I try to tell kids all the time, you know, there are going to be teachers, unfortunately, who are going to be looking for you to do certain things. They're going to be looking for you to mess up any chance you get. Don't give them any rope. Don't let them win. You know, it's hard, but you just got to try to get through the day, because unfortunately, this is what you're faced with. Unfortunately, there are teachers like this out there, and you just got to be aware and don't give them what they want. And I think if we talk to kids more about these things, about what the school to prison pipeline is, what goes into it, how it works, I feel like it would be helpful.
Yes, absolutely.
Just being honest, having honest conversations.
Absolutely.
So that's actually, for me, as a directly impacted individual who, as a juvenile, went to juvenile prison, both Lincoln Hills and Ethan Allen. When we talk about now as opposed to then, to me, the conditions are entirely different. When I was 14 years old, 2 offenses, you went away. Now, the 14-year-olds can shoot people and they get out on the bracelet. These are facts. When we talk about the level of responsibility, I have to be honest, most people my age now who have went through the system as juveniles and then adults through the system of incarceration, mass incarceration, fighting the criminal legal system, when they come out of that, they've realized that at some point they were so terrible that corrections was probably the best thing that saved them from the fate that he's talking about with his friends. So I'm 43, and I have 2 friends that call me weekly with life in prison. I have 12 friends that don't have life, right? They have death. And so when we talk about the cycle, the school to prison pipeline, it's now, I think that with all of the access that the youth has, we need to be conditioning 2 generations at a time. I think that we miss, you okay? I think that we miss the mark all the time by saying the youth. We need to focus on the youth. Yeah. And then these kids go home from a program that's told them to reach for the stars, and they go home and they can see nothing but clouds, right? Their parents have not a good job. They're renting in poor properties. They're living in areas with crime, poverty, drug abuse, homelessness, you know what I'm saying, and the like. And so it's not realistic if you're not helping both. And that's why, to me, especially when you talked about how does this play resonate with plays of the past, I actually use Lean On Me as a teaching model because I'm a community organizer. Okay. And that was one of the things that he did. He said, we can't tell students to go home and tell the parents to help them read if the parents don't know how to read. So we need a remedial reading program that helps the parents and the students. And then he told the teachers, one of the teachers said, he said, what? You ain't with it? Bye. That's the door, because this the policy. He said the gangs coming into the school, point blank period, they having fights, knife fights. I'm not gonna put up with it. Chain the doors. So what if it's a fire code violation? Chain the doors. And then we'll put the onus on the community to say to the fire chief, let them go. Because we want our kids safe rather than a policy. And see, we got so far away from all of that. That like now it's every man for itself. It's literally today I see the young men, our young black men who can't hold their pants off their butts, who can't look you in the eye, who can't talk straight, who can't form a sentence, who talk to you like this every single time, no matter who you are. They don't care. They don't care. That's not culture. And so me as the Black Student Union coordinator, every meeting I ask my students, who identifies our culture? They say we do. I say, what's the things you don't like about us? Then get to re-identifying. You don't like people with pants off their butts? I don't want to see none of you ladies dating men with pants off their butts. Fellas, if you agree that that's not a norm that we should accept in our society and our culture, because where it came from, slavery, to degrade the man that was demasculated and raped by the slave, you know what I'm saying? When we get there, then the kids be like, oh, wait, what, Miss Prince? I didn't know that. I think it came from prison. I said, even if it did, what is that saying? What are we embodying? Everything about us, everything about our culture is some jacked up. Throw it all away and start over. That's all I want to do. Throw it all away and start over. Big Mama and them gone. Throw it all away.
That's true.
Throw it all away.
Wow. I feel like I'm in history class right now. I'm gonna hold y'all. I feel like I'm getting a history lesson right now. I just love how this is just important to each of y'all. It's not just a role you're playing. It's something that you're living. And I think that makes each of your characters just more, relatable. I love how each of you just have your own connection. I think that's amazing. And that just makes the pipeline just hit a little harder. So with the play coming up, and I know you guys have, rehearsed and done all those things, is there something that really stands out to you? Is there a moment for you in the play or a scene that really sticks with you? If you can tell us that.
I guess for me it'd be, it's a few parts, but I guess the scene where it's kind of me and a mom one-on-one. I can't say too much, but I just want, I grew up to a single mom, so I just connect a lot with this character, with just, a mom wanting the best for her son, and, life is life. So it's one scene where we kind of just one-on-one talk it out, cry a little bit, get real emotional, and that's probably one of the most beautiful scenes to me in the play.
Nice. Nice. Okay.
So I have 3 kids, and I have 2 black sons, and so I know that fear, and they're young right now, but still, I know that fear, worrying about the fact that at some point I'm gonna have to send them out into the world, and there's things that they're gonna have to deal with and face that I could never understand. Just me being a woman, there's things that I could never understand that they're gonna have to go through, and there's things that I won't be able to protect them from, and it's terrifying, and it gives you so much anxiety. Having black kids, having black sons is one of the scariest things. It's so frightening, because like I said, you only have so much control, because there's a whole world out there ready to hate them. And when you have kids, just the idea, you look at your kids and you love them so much, and then you think about the fact that there's people out there that aren't going to appreciate them like you do, and there's nothing you could do about that. It's scary. So I think that part of the play and Naya's anxiety around that is very relatable for me.
And me, as the son of a single mother, I related a lot more to Omari, not in the lashing out though, in the absence of his father and his connection to his mother. And where his father thought he could come in, and just because he's his father, that gives him the right to say anything or dictate anything or question or even care. Because I've actually been in that same position with my father. And so I just felt a lot of what I really felt in that moment when I'm playing Xavier is, honestly, I wish my father kind of cared like Xavier did. he ain't care half as much. Come move with you. Where you even live at? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. In that moment, that's why, shout out to Adrianna, our director. She's done some great coaching work with me. And I also had the opportunity, shout out to April and Art by April and the Black Art Council. We all had the opportunity to meet Khalil Kane from Juice. And he also played Xavier in this play in New York City. And so he gave me some inside character game on, just digging a little bit deeper in how I'm viewing this whole relationship, how I'm even viewing my son, because truthfully, and they'll probably share this, when I'm standing there and my son is cussing me out, it is very difficult for me. At school today, I talked to 2 freshman students I never knew, and they were in a group, 5 of them. They were talking to Mosley. That's why I asked you if you knew him. And he talks more like them. And I walked up and what's up, fellas? Woo, woo, woo. And one of the guys said, man, it's some black power strength right here coming out of you. And I was like, man, I hadn't even said anything about, the BSU or anything. It was just like, and I was like, oh, you feel that? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, good, man, stand up straight then. It's just, so it's different, it's difficult, right, in that moment, hearing my teenage son, my son 9, and he still does some things right now that'll get him snatched up, right? And so I just imagine at 13, when he starts smelling himself and getting a little bit taller and, see, the butt up, then I have to put down. That's how I am. And so it's like that with him for a while, and Adrianna just did a great job of, relaxing me and allowing me to see it from a different light and, see his pain and like feel his hurt. And so, I just had to dig a little bit deeper.
Absolutely. Okay. Character identification. That's how you play the role right there. That's how you tap into the role. I love it. Definitely. I love that.
Good casting, though. That's really what it was.
We got to give it out. Got to give it out to the director again. Adrianna. She's over there looking so cute. She's going to come on in a second, too. We definitely got to have her come on here for sure. So, you guys have said a lot just about how you feel about the play, your roles, and everything. But what is something that you really hope people will take away from it?
Because I was thinking about this. Dad's, yes, when Corey just went off saying dad, shout out my dad, Justin Lambert. He also playing in the play. I don't know if you're going to get to talk to him anymore because he's sick, but I just, like Corey just said, how he kind of might have felt Xavier cared more than his dad cared, and he wished like his dad was more like the character Xavier. I feel like black dads get a bad rep, and that's how it was over the course of years. Now I feel like that's a little pipeline or big pipeline, But and I just want to shout out dads that do care. Like my dad, like I said, I grew up to a single mother, but my dad made sure he pulled over his van, picked up me and all my siblings, and we stayed together, as much as possible. And it came full circle. I didn't even know my dad was auditioning for this play. We had none inside, and then we just happened to be here, And,
wow.
Okay, dang.
Yeah. I like Corey playing my dad in this play, though, That's also a good perspective of, it not being my dad. If my dad would have been, that probably would have been, but it's definitely putting an actor to the test with it, me and Corey going at it. He almost, we had a little skit.
He was a little hesitant to say that at first. We found out y'all was boxing a little bit. Y'all was boxing a little bit.
Yeah, what is called stage combat. So we just, like he said, the director, Adrianna, make sure we all good and I'm safe,
We can't mess up the money maker. We can't mess that up.
Now you gotta be
Let me find out you whooping on stage for real.
Well, the play does call, right, for the father to take a more stern approach. And so I was embodying my own real self, right? Okay. And imagining my son saying the things to me.
Choking you up a little bit, huh? Dang.
Saying the things to me.
Choking you up.
That this son here is allowed to say.
This
So
son.
lucky that this is play.
One.
Is all I'm gonna say. Play. It's a play.
Ooh, snap.
I
Okay,
have to
Dad.
remind myself it's
Okay,
just
Dad.
acting.
Okay, look.
Yes.
You all right? Blink twice if you need help. Okay.
He's safe. His mama right here. She ain't gonna let me do nothing.
Yeah, she ain't going for none. What do you hope people get from the play?
So, I guess I want to say, again, going back to the school to prison pipeline, I think the formula is advocacy and accountability on more than one side. So I think it's important that we teach kids not only to hold themselves accountable, and we hold them accountable for their actions and the things that they do in their behavior, but we also teach them to advocate for themselves. I think that is such a major key. Teaching kids to advocate for themselves, to stick up for themselves in the right way. Yes. When they know something isn't right or they're being treated a certain way, to be able to speak up and say, no, I don't like that. And exercise the proper channels, how to do that. I think that's important. But also, it's important that parents are taught how to advocate for their kids, especially in a school setting, especially at these expulsion hearings and things like that. Because oftentimes, it's parents who are uninformed and students who are left to defend themselves to a bunch of adults who already have made up their minds. So what are they supposed to do? You know? So advocacy and accountability, I think, are very important. Also, holding teachers and administrators accountable as well for how they treat these kids and how they interact with these kids, and holding them accountable for whether or not they're taking into account what they're going through at home. You know, socio-emotional learning, things like that. Because why, as a kid, how do you expect them to come in and do their math homework if they just watched their mama get beat up last night, you know, or their uncle just got shot? Taking these things into account. So accountability and advocacy.
Absolutely.
So for me, I want people to take away a lot of the opposite of what my ex-wife just said.
Of course.
Well, that's why we're exes. and it's okay. Because they'll get both, hopefully, right? The people that need that will get that, and hopefully what I see is what you said, except for in reverse. The accountability starts with us. And so when I go into classrooms and I see black kids sleeping on the counter and on their phones, I don't blame the teacher, because I have no expectation of other people wanting my child to do better than theirs. I have no expectation of other groups of people wanting my group to be better or further ahead than theirs. That's nonsensical, but we're the only people that think like it. And instead, we go and I tell the kids this: the reason why you are allowed to walk aimlessly through the halls all day is because they don't want you to learn. Yes, there's a policy that says if you can't handle your emotions, by all means, just get up and walk out. And then what do you learn? How do you learn to control yourself in a job setting, to control yourself in a real life setting? Then this is why these children do not know how to, and I'm talking about from children level. They don't know how to communicate. Then when we talk about accountability, there is none from the parents. I can call and say, the child did this. The parent gonna say, well, what did you do? And see the difference in me. And I have to find balance. Even in this role, I'm contracted. See, I'm smart. I know I can't be no employee. that's bound by different rules and regulations, right? Stipulations. And so I can only take so much. I am that person that I believe that until our community, us as a people, until we get back to controlling ourselves, to holding ourselves to accountable, to teaching ourselves. You know, there used to be school after school. It's not anymore. It's now you're depending on you saying the after school. You mad if ain't no after school program. You're mad if the teacher don't stay after school to teach your kid. Like, you know, we have to start doing it for ourselves. And I hope that that's what people will see is lacking, because what I saw in the play and felt is a teenager that's allowed to not only disrespect his mother, but disrespect his father, a man, no respect for authority, no respect for spaces, places, or faces, which is why he did what he did to his teacher. That's the pipeline. And we can easily interrupt that by start redefining our socioeconomic norms. It's not okay, young man, for you to act out emotionally. No, it's not. Control yourself. Control yourself. And I'm not even going to lie. We allow the machine, the ADHD, that's part of the pipeline. We just what you said. We allow teachers. My son's in 4th grade. I had a teacher try to tell me he can't concentrate. I said, give me some examples. She said he comes in the room and I say, put up your book bag, pick up your, turn to page 36, take out your crayons and your pencils. I said, wait, okay, I'm sorry. Duly noted. Duly noted. Thank you. We'll work on it. Yeah, no problem there. I see the track though, because I know the science. And so what I see, I agree with you. I think that needs to be amplified, right? To watch out for those type of trigger signs, because no, your son don't need no special attention at school. He needs it at home. He needs it. And we're saying go to the school suspension hearings. It's too late. It's too late. That's the pipeline. You're too late. Because once they now do a criminal act, they base your criminality on your school record. That's the pipeline. So we have to stop kids from getting school records. We have to stop telling kids it's okay to burst out of classrooms with aggressive mannerisms, talking crazy to anybody, and then tell the administrators and the school people who's overworked and overstressed and underpaid that the kid just need a break. No. That's what I hope people take away.
Necessarily saying opposite things.
I said that.
I agree with a lot of what you said, but also let's consider the systems that got us to this point.
Facts. And we have to, and anybody that knows me, again, I work in criminal justice and criminal legal system reform, and so I always put the onus on the system, right? There are systems in place that have put the structures that have redefined our socioeconomic norms for us, right? There used to not be disrespect in front of adults, but then we started allowing kids to watch TV more. What does TV do? Increase profanity, right? So kids think this is okay. Because we allow the TV and YouTube and everything else to babysit our kids, then that's on us. If we stop allowing our kids to hear this, little baby, little Drake, little so-and-so, and everybody else, little Icy, but anybody that's an artist that's, talking negatively, and we're allowing our children to hear this music. When I was 13, my mama ripped up Too Short. Now, it didn't stop me from being free.
Now, hold on, because you're going on. I know you're getting in your mode, but I want to make sure, we get everybody through. But I appreciate you. I can feel that you're passionate about it. It is. It's hot. It's important. But I definitely want to, make sure that we get everybody else through. Because I want to hear everybody else's opinion, too.
We do, too.
But I love that. I love how passionate you are, and I love how you include in that personal life experience. I think that makes your role even more impactful. So I appreciate that for sure.
Shout out to the energy from my baby
Not
She's
baby
so
mama.
Passionate for real.
We got to give it up for the cast, though. Some of the cast that's here right now for Pipeline. I just want to thank you guys for coming on here and just being vulnerable and being honest. I think sometimes people sugarcoat problems, and when they're a part of something, they kind of overlook what they're a part of. So I love that you broke it down. No, we doing this because this is a real issue. So I'm excited to see the play in each of your roles and just how you guys portray that message. So if you want, you're more than happy to, let people know where they can follow you guys, keep up with you. If you got any other projects or stuff you'll be doing.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Lil Icy ain't no bad influence.
Yeah, I know he not. You know, I put
He
you
took
on
that
stage.
personal.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
He took
Don't
that
do that.
personal.
Don't do that. It was a joke.
I heard some stuff about Lil Icy. I thought he was pretty cool.
Yes, he definitely is. He's a good guy.
Lil Icy, yeah, y'all can find me, Big Gucci Icy on Instagram, Isaiah Lambert on, you can find me, but Put the Guns Down Basketball. That's what we do community stuff.
Nice.
So
Yes.
shout out my dad again for he helped a lot with that, and just trying to stop the pipeline one day at a time. So.
Absolutely.
I don't have any social media, so you can't find me. But I do locks at Upscale downtown. I work for Esperanza Coffee, best coffee in Racine. So you can find me at the branch. That's where I'm usually at, or in the woods or in the clouds. Whatever.
I might need my locks done actually. So, yeah.
We just want to say thank you too for having us on.
Yes.
No, I don't want to be followed. I appreciate
No problem.
it, but I'm like her.
Follow him, Corey Prince.
That's my name, but at this stage in life, I'm not looking for the followers. So,
All right, you guys. So I am here with some more of the cast, and actually the bosses, the brains behind this amazing play pipeline. Super duper excited to have him here with me. I just want you to introduce yourself to Pillow Talk for me, if you can.
Hi, I'm Adrianna Jones, and I'm the director for this production.
I can hear this podcast.
I'm really happy to be here, and happy to be up here with some other folks who are involved in it, who I love, and talking with you today.
Yes, absolutely. I love the hair too.
Thank you.
It's doing it. It's
Oh
doing
my
it.
gosh, thank you.
Hello, my name is April Harris. I am the CEO of the Black Arts Council of Racine and the executive producer of the Play Pipeline. I'm so grateful to the wonderful Adrianna Jones directed and all the cast and everything that that's going to be in the play. That's wonderful.
My name is Gina Caesars. I have to get used to that last name. I just got married, so I was like,
Okay,
interchange it.
congratulations.
I play one of the characters, Lori, in the play. I'm sure we'll get a little bit more into her character in a moment, but yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you, ladies, for coming on Pillow Talk and having me here with you. Super excited to talk to the director. Not gonna lie. I gotta pick your brain a little bit, okay? So, first off, pipeline. What does that initially mean to you? What does that initially mean to you?
I mean, pipeline. Well, I can get really deep about this. I'm a visual person, so pipeline, you like have the idea of a line that just keeps going and kind of never ends. So it's like part of the pipeline is that we feel like at this point we could say that we're kind of stuck in this cycle that the pipeline that we've created with the school to prison pipeline. So it's like, okay, how do we cut the line? How do we stop the line and end it and maybe start something new? Yeah, I'll say that because I could go on forever about all the different things you could think of with a pipeline. But I think it's that image, right? So it's like something that's inevitable. And like it just is, so why even try to change it? No, we can do things. There are things.
Absolutely. What sparked you then to want to create the play about the pipeline?
This play was written by Dominique Morisseau, and I teach in the theater department at Carthage College, and one of the classes I teach is African American theater. And so I knew about this play based for my research for my class, and then also just in general, like knowing Black art in general, that this was a play about Black people and by Black people. And so I'm interested as a director in telling those stories, and because they're not often stories that get told, and if they do get told, they're by someone who maybe doesn't actually have that experience as a Black person living in a Black body. And so as a Black woman, it's kind of part of my passion to do more of the shows like this, not just for Black audiences, but also for white audiences and non-Black audiences, because media is powerful.
Absolutely.
And one form of media just happens to be live theater, and that's where I got my start in, and so that's where I work. But the images that we see day to day have a big effect on us and how we live. And so if there's more images and media that is showing true depictions of what it's like for Black people to live in society, then we can give a more realistic and true and honest visual of what Black people experience. Yes. And then that can affect how they interact with Black people day to day, and just so kind of filter out in all different aspects of life.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And what does pipeline mean to you?
Pipeline means a lot to me as far as I have a Black son, so I was lucky enough for him to complete school and everything without getting into trouble, and even in the present, not being into trouble. But I also had I have some brothers that was in high school, and then they ended up getting in trouble in high school. And of course, you go through the system, and of course, one of them landed in prison. But I can relate to it mostly because I have, a son and brothers that, I can relate to what's going on in their lives.
Absolutely. And then for you, what does pipeline mean for you?
So I'd have to start out by saying it's not lost on me that I am a guest in this community to experience these things as a white person, to be involved in a Black play that talks about struggles that Black people face. So that's not lost on me. So pipeline to me, apart from the true meaning of what it is, from a personal perspective, was just a personal honor to have one more step to have like that peek inside of that world and to hear it from other people's perspectives. So that was really important to me. I'm a big fan of real history, and then using that to grow from and become an advocate for things. So that's not lost on me. Also, so my grandsons are mixed, so I have 2 mixed grandsons. So being introduced to, these are things obviously not so obvious. These are things I knew about from where I went to school and where I went to high school and where I chose to go to high school from, and the experience I chose to have really opened up my mind to the pipeline, watching it firsthand, not as the person experiencing it, but seeing it happen to friends and people that I know, and watching us have the same experience socially, but for some reason, myself and people like me, meaning non-Black, had this leg up and had this ability to bypass consequences. And so I saw that firsthand. And so then knowing that, and then just being aware of that and trying to stay aware of those things and learning real history, not just about Black people, people of color, we're talking Indigenous, we're talking all of it, learning real history, and then learning from that and applying that to what I can do, how can I be better, and how can I make it better? Because I cannot say what it's like to be in a Black person's shoes. So, but what I can do is try to help keep as many doors open as I can with the knowledge that I gain from being invited into things such as this, or into my friends' lives and people that I have in my life. So that's what it means to me, apart from the huge message that everybody needs to hear with this play.
Absolutely. I always love the personal take. People are a part of stuff all the time and they just do stuff. But I love when you provide that personal connection. I think that makes it, that much more impactful. So your cast speaks very highly of you, as you mentioned before. They very highly of you. So I'm assuming you did a great job directing. But as far as some challenges maybe you had, were there some moments where you were just kind of overwhelmed, or you weren't sure that you were able to, portray the message?
Yes, like so.
Yeah.
As a theater, I guess I could consider myself a theater nerd in the sense that, I've been involved in theater for a long time, and I've seen lots of theater, but I also, like, I was required to, as part of my theater major and things, like do theater history and stuff. So I know about like big players in the game and like big directors who have done big things. And so it's like, I really appreciate the good things that my cast has said about me. It does like help me as a director to feel good about, okay, we're onto something here. I'm onto something, I guess, in some things, because it can be easy to question your choices as a director and compare yourself and the choices you're doing, or how things are going to other things, or outside self-talk, self-criticism. As an artist, that self-critic can be loud sometimes. Yeah. But then in the end, always trying to just come back to feeling like staying true to myself and just being confident in like, okay, all I can do is what I can do. And I focus a lot on my actors and what they give me. And so as a director, I'm always like allowing them to guide me in the sense of like, I can come in with my own ideas, but I actually really appreciate that all of my actors have such different takes and such different backgrounds and such different experiences, because that makes for such rich character work in the things that we do. And I encourage them to pull from those things to help make real and rich and honest and true characters, because that's what is interesting to watch, at least to me as a director.
Nice. Absolutely. Look, you take your directing serious, okay? She said, I ain't finna play with y'all, I direct. I like that. And then for you, were there any moments that were challenging for you during the process?
Just at the beginning. At the beginning, just mostly just like looking for a director, and luckily we were able to find Adrianna. Last year we had a play with, what was it called? The Curious, what is it called?
Oh, that long title.
The Glorious.
That's a beautiful title also.
So we had that play, and it was a great play, and we thought it was a good idea to do this play because we had a great turnout, and the community all came out, and a lot of the black community came out, and it just turned out great, and we thought it was a good idea to do this play, and I think it turned out great as well.
Nice. Absolutely. And then for you, did you have any moments that were challenging playing your character?
Yeah, there's a couple tone deaf cringe moments, I call them. Adrianna did a great job of walking me through that and trying to see it from a different perspective, because I think one of it is things that I absolutely would not say at this point in my life. But if I'm honest with myself, especially after going through this class that I went through last week, that was amazing, talking about unconscious bias and just different things that we've done, and nobody really ever had a chance to not be prejudiced. We never had a chance. It's been ingrained in us through everything, and that's what I learned from this class. And so for me, I know for a fact I've been tone deaf in my life, well-meaning or not. And so there's a couple of those moments, where, and you'll see where we talk about these things, or I'll bring something up and I talk about poorly about certain tactics that are actually meant to help children, but I think I'm so burnt out as a teacher, and that's what Adrianna helped me, realize, like, this is, maybe she's doing it from a different perspective. She's burnt out, she's tired, she's meaning well, but the message for me is, well-meaning or not, we still have a responsibility to try to be on key with things that we say and do. So that's the kind of the challenge that I felt. It's because I felt a little self-conscious about saying a few of the things. So, yeah.
I can get that, and I commend you for being honest about that.
Yeah.
Being a white woman and being a part of a predominantly black cast, I think all black casts, that's a lot to weigh, on yourself, and just kind of be nervous and conscious about what you say, how you move. So I just like your vulnerability. Because this is a very powerful story, and you being aware of what it means and what it means to you, that says a lot.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that says a lot. So I commend that for sure. So how do you pick characters? Like when you do the tryouts, do you already have in your head like this is what I want this person to be, or do people come in and just blow you away and like, yep, that's what I want you to be, that person?
I also teach acting at Carthage College where I teach, and so as a director, so I tell my students, I'm like, when we talk about auditioning, I'm like, sure, a director might have an idea of what they want a character to look like, sound like, act like, and yeah, sure, I might have an idea when I go into the audition room of this character is maybe going to be like this. Mm-hmm. But it always, and I always choose the person that in the audition room, they claimed it. It was theirs. Mm. They came in and how they read, how they enacted, how they said the lines. They claimed the role mm-hmm. By just bringing either part of themselves to it or whatever it might be. And that's how I cast. I'm like, oh, yes, there it is. It always ends up being that way. It's never a hard choice, right? Whenever the person always steps up, they always show up, whoever it ends up being. They reveal themselves.
Absolutely. Okay, I like that. They're meant to play it.
Yeah.
It was meant in the stars. Mm-hmm. I like that. And so with you, April, I feel like you're really like a community person here. You're really involved in like the media element of Racine and Wisconsin as a whole. And you mentioned, the other play as well that you did. So how do you feel like right now the state of Black culture is in Wisconsin? Because when you think of media conglomerates, you're always like Chicago, New York, you don't really think of Racine or Wisconsin predominantly. So how is the media scene out here? How do you feel like this play kind of fits into that media scene?
As far as,
is there a lot of other Black functions that go on here? Are there other, Black events that happen regularly or other forms of Black media that we see regularly in Wisconsin?
There was a paper called the Insider News.
Okay.
They did media throughout the community, and her name is Lisa Parham. She owned the newspaper. She was a good friend of mine. She passed away a couple months ago. So now they're about to bring that back out with her sister on the 16th, actually, the second day of the play. So they're having that paper come back out, so there'll be more of the media with the Black community with that paper. But we do have a few Black events here, the Sneakers Ball and things like that. Okay. Different things, but not as much. Like as far as plays, that's why we wanted to do plays, and that's a part of what Black Arts Council does. We do production of plays, so we thought it was a great idea to have this play and just to bring it out in the community and have more Black presence in the community.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I love that. Because I'm getting more accustomed to the Racine area, and this play I think is so big. Like to me, it's like So I just wonder if there's a lot of other Black depictions like this that go on, or is this something that's kind of just the first in a sense?
So again, this we do the Let's Talk Art, and we we started in 2018. We did a few of them. We first started online because of COVID. So when everything started getting better, we started doing more, and this is a part of it as well. So but yeah, it's not many. It's just a few. It's just the newspaper, and that's coming back out, the Racine Insider, and this, and not many. It's not many.
Okay. That puts a little more amp, I feel like, on the play. A little more spice on it. Like y'all better come. Y'all better come check this out. And then, as far as you with the acting, are you an actress regularly? Is this the first thing you've been a part of?
No, it's not the first thing. I mean, but, back in high school, of course, did theater then. But does that even quantify? Does that qualify?
Hey, it counts.
I don't know. Does that qualify? But no. So for years, though, I have wanted to try out at the Theater Guild, to audition at the Theater Guild. And so I've been trying to work up the nerve the last couple years. And so then this opportunity, April had actually got a hold of me for this opportunity. So we had networked on some other levels with some other space, talking about poetry slams and some other things that we were discussing. And so I've had the benefit of meeting her, and so it's been a great network since then. But Back to your question, no. So I don't act regularly. So I'm actually a community health worker for a public health agency. So I'm very deeply involved in public health and just trying to bridge the gap to make sure that people are cared for, have what they need, and meeting their needs, meeting where they're at, and education on disease and do disease investigation and stuff like that. So that's what my full-time gig is.
Okay, you getting your feet wet. You getting your feet wet.
Dipping my toe in the water. I don't know. But,
Nothing wrong with that. Okay, well, this is an amazing project to be a part of. So I think that's dope for sure. Yeah. So I know I mentioned before, what does pipeline mean to you? But as far as the depiction of the play, what is something that you really hope people will learn from it?
Yeah, I had the pleasure of listening to my other cast members give their interview responses, and all of that, yes, all of it, each one of their responses, yes. And also, I always hope that in terms of like the message or things that people might get from the show, that they maybe come away with a different outlook. I'm gonna wait till this alarm.
Shout out to Zaki with the alarm in the back.
Yes, because it was telling me, hurry up with your response.
No, not at all.
That's what it was saying. It said, get to the point or you are cut off. That's what that alarm said. Okay, the point is compassion, grace and compassion. That's what I hope people get from this. I'm like, yes, we can advocate more from different perspectives, teachers, parents, kids advocating for themselves. But also, like, I'm always like, if we can be more compassionate towards one another, if we can approach things from a perspective of grace rather than resistance and defense and shutting down and a place of almost violence, shunning, right? If we can come with open arms and grace and compassion, it would solve a lot of problems, right? If that just perspective change could happen. And so that's what I hope that people find and take away from this production.
Absolutely. What about you, Miss April?
I just mostly, I want people to be aware of what can happen to them as the kids, especially. I want them to be aware of what can happen and what's going on when they get these certain responses from teacher or authorities and things in the school. And I want, people to be aware that they can advocate for their kids and the help that's out there. So I hope they get just awareness about this play and things like that. So, yeah.
Absolutely. What about you? What do you hope people will get from this play?
There's a lot, I think, but I think some of the bigger messages is, one, art is for everyone, right? So we need to make sure that we're not excluding people from the ability to express themselves artistically. It's very therapeutic. Music, dance, expression, art of any kind, and theater, and it is for everybody. And number two, I really hope that it brings the community together. I would really love to see white people show up for this, non-Black people show up for this. Learn from this in the sense that you get a peek into. I feel like sometimes people look at people that, like, for instance, if you look at somebody that's different from you, so as a white person, not myself, but just if you're a white person, you look at, it's like when you see a similarity, you're like, oh, we're similar. Well, why would you think it was so different? Why would you think it was so different at a Black person's table or at an argument between a Black mom and her Black son? Like, why should that feel different? Why should that look foreign to you? Like, it shouldn't. And so what I'm hoping is that gap also gets bridged, that people, no matter who they are, can kind of see themselves in that play and see the interaction between mother and son. Yes, appreciate that it's from the Black perspective, but also appreciate that it's from a human perspective. And I think, like, those are two really big things that or three things that I think that I want to really kind of happen from this. That would be important to me.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Now, I do want to know, how would you compare, I should say, this, form of black media to maybe other forms of black media throughout history? Do you feel like this is a more accurate depiction of what's going on right now compared to some of older depictions we've seen, like a Raisin in the Sun or things of that nature?
It's funny you bring up a Raisin in the Sun. I just directed that earlier this year.
Boss, she a boss, y'all.
All God's glory. I'll give glory to God because I did not plan that. It's interesting in the sense that the themes are different in the shows, right? So it's like in terms of like, times are different? Yes, times are different now, but also the systems are still in place. The same systems that were operating then some of them, unfortunately so, are still operating now, right? Maybe they've taken on a new or different form, but it stemmed from a system that was in place then, right? So in the times of A Raisin in the Sun, right? And so I think that that's part of what people maybe miss when they think about history, is that they're like, oh, history, it was this way. That has nothing to do with what it's like now, because it looks different now, but it's not different. It's just taken on a new form. It's at the root of its core, it's the same problem. It's the same system. It's the same things that are leading to the pipeline happening. It's the same thing. It just looks a little different, that's all. And so that's why it's like, you could talk to people and be like, well, times have changed. Things are better now. We don't live in the same times now that we did then. And so they can use that as an excuse of like, there isn't a problem, right? There's nothing to fix. It's like, okay, we have to dig a little deeper. We have to slow down and take the time to really look and dig deep and be honest about, okay, what are we seeing? Why are these numbers in terms of disciplining black students versus white students, why is it so much higher for black students? Why does this show that? And then you can start to break it down. Yeah. So it's not the same, but it's taken on different forms.
Okay, absolutely.
Well, I wouldn't really compare it to A Raisin in the Sun. I watch a lot of TV and things like that, so I would think more like Lean On Me.
Okay.
Comparing it to that. Basically the same as how the movie Lean On Me was with Morgan Freeman. So I'm thinking, the same with juveniles, having problems in school and authority and, issues with, parents. It'll be all the same in this play. You have single parenting, you have dealing with the justice system, and different things like that. So it's about the same, but modernized, it's just a different year in time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we do have, the opening night coming up. Are you guys nervous? I mean, what's like the number one thing you worried about for opening night? What's the number one thing that's on the list?
Let's go to you go first.
Forgetting my line.
Oh Lord, we can't have that. No, you just gotta focus. You gotta zone in on like a dot in the audience. That's what I was told.
I think just forgetting my lines, or just I don't know, like stage fright maybe. I don't know. But
Stage fright.
yeah,
You're
think
gonna be great.
it. Thanks. Thanks.
Okay.
Always here to make sure my actors feel confident and supported.
Yes.
You can do it. You got this. And, then I just give them all the tips and tricks because I'm like, look, this is live theater. So you might forget your lines. But guess what? You got to keep going.
Yeah.
The show must go on. That's real. That's real thing.
Nobody's gonna know what our line is.
Exactly.
Really?
Right?
They don't know.
That's it.
No,
You might just bust into a little dance move. They don't know. You might heel toe or something. They don't know.
Yeah, we've had even like inside jokes that have come about of like, okay, the code word if something's going wrong. This No. They're gonna be great. They're all stars. They're gonna be great. I guess the only thing I'm nervous as a director could be potentially nervous as is like you always are nervous maybe just as far as audiences being open to something like this, because I mean I'm not from Racine, but I am from a small town, but I've worked in big towns.
Yeah.
And so I know I've seen art that have come from both small towns and big towns. And typically in a smaller town, there might be, some aversion to new ideas or different ideas. And so I hope that people approach this with an open mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Is there anything you're nervous about?
No, I have confidence in them.
I know that's right.
They're going to do a great job. Oh, yeah. I had the pleasure of coming in some nights and seeing them rehearse, and I always enjoyed it. So I think they'll do great. I'm not worried.
I ain't worried about nothing.
Exactly.
I ain't worried about nothing. I need some of that, April. Give me some of that so I can put it in my pocket. I need some of that. I ain't worried about nothing. Well, I'm excited. So Friday, September 15th, that's the opening night. That's the first show. And then there'll be another show on the 17th? The 16th? Okay, so it'll be back to back. Okay. So where will it be located?
The show is going to be happening at Park High School, right? What's the full name of that school? Do you know? Washington Park High School.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So people might know it by both names. I wasn't sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be happening in their theater at that high school on the 15th and 16th. So, and I believe the 15th is an evening show at 6 p.m. and the 16th, if you want to catch like an afternoon matinee, that's 3 p.m.
Okay. Nice. So will there only be 2 showings? Will it only be 2 times? That'll be
Yes, it'll only be 2 times.
Okay. So y'all got to see it, basically. You can't miss out. You're only going to be able to see it 2 times. So I do have the address, 1901 12th Street. I believe that is correct. So definitely make sure that you guys pull up to see this amazing play pipeline. I'm super excited. I will be here for sure, checking it out, covering it, getting people's responses. But I just think this is amazing. Black depiction, Black media, it's just so critical, I feel like, and it's crucial right now. And it is up to kind of the younger generation to push forward those important messages. So I commend you for feeling like this was something that needed to be told and needs to be expressed to people, 30 and under, 15, whomever, I don't know if a lot of peers or younger people are aware of what pipeline, really is. So I think this is just a powerful story.
Yeah, agreed.
It's a powerful story. It's a powerful story.
Excited to share it.
Can we tell them how to get the tickets?
Absolutely.
So, on Eventbrite, you can look up the event, and then the Black Arts Council Facebook page, I think, has the advertisement. You can probably speak better to that, April.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's on Eventbrite, so you can just go on Eventbrite and then just put in the keyword pipeline. It should pop up from there, and then you'll get your choices of the different dates. And yes, $20 per person. So
$20. And there's a Cash App. It's Art by April.
Cash
1.
App, so we up at $, Art by April 1. Yes.
Okay, so y'all don't play. Don't act like y'all don't got no reason to pay the price. We didn't get y'all the Cash App. People are trying to say, the link wasn't working. I wasn't it. Now y'all got the Cash App. You know what I'm saying? So you might want to get that ticket a little bit early, and make sure that you check that out. And definitely this space, because April, the art you got all through the wall is just, side note, very beautiful, very beautiful. So do you open the gallery regularly for people to come in and check out?
I open it a couple times a week.
Okay.
A lot of times it's by appointment because I do own Art by April Unlimited. This is where the spot is. And I do art classes, paint and sips and things like that. So yep.
Nice. Paint and sip, my favorite. Well, if you guys would love to, tell people where they can keep up with you, if you would like, or any future projects that you have coming out.
I do have social media, but I'm not necessarily the best at it. I should pay somebody to do it for me because they would do it much better. But I have a Facebook page where you can follow me, facebook.com/Adrianna Jones Theater, and that would take you to my page where you can follow me for all things arts that I do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
As far as the Black Arts Council, there is a Black Arts Council group or a page. Simply go to Facebook, key in Black Arts Council Racine. And then I'm also on Facebook as Art by April Unlimited, so you can also check out my artwork. And you can go to artbyapril.net, and you can check out artwork there and purchase it as well.
Absolutely. I better stop playing with April.
Yeah, see, April, maybe I should hire April.
I love April.
I
love her.
Okay. She's got some good posts. I don't do much with my personal social media, but I am a master level Reiki practitioner and teacher, and so I do it super cheap, sometimes free. I have scholarships, so I just want to get like energy healing out there. So if you're interested in something like that, you can find me at itsallconnected.net or Facebook. It's All Connected. So yeah.
Okay, it's all connected.
It's
I like
all
that.
connected.
It's all connected. Well, I appreciate you ladies for letting me come here in your space and just talk to you, get to know you a little bit, and just kind of pick your brain about this, play. Like I said, it's amazing, and I'm excited to hear, actually see the story play out and just hear some, feedback from the audience. I think it's amazing, so thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course. So definitely make sure that you guys save the date, Friday, September 15th, 6 p.m. Pipeline will be on display. The play will happen at Park High School, 1901 12th Street in Racine. Okay, tickets are $20, okay? $20. Y'all got it. I know summer just ended. Y'all should be saving up anyway. Go ahead and get in the savings. Take out that $20. You can Cash App, okay? $ Art by April 1, or you can visit the link on Eventbrite to purchase your tickets. I will be there. Y'all gonna be there. We gonna be there, okay? So it's gonna be lit, definitely. As always, shout out to everybody that tunes in to Pillow Talk Podcast, voted Chicago's top podcast of 2023. Sending love and light to all of you on this day.